gentlemen, lovers and swingers, it's the end of the week. This is the only thing between you and the pillow. It's time to hit a big note on the bed flute, time to fiddle, time to giggle, wriggle. It's time to Club Buggery. Tonight, This Morning Life presents Club Buggery live from the Fowler Fowl House here at the ABC studios in Gore Hill. Club Buggery featuring vocalist extraordinaire, the Nissan Cedrics.
Cedrics we are, we shoot for pleasure, we rustle about and hunt for treasure.
Supported by Australia's Rolling Stones, on skins Mr. Charlie Watts. On bass Mr. Bill Wyman. On guitar Mr. Keith Richards. On trumpet Mr. Brian Jones. On sax Mr. Ronnie Wood. And on keyboards Mr. Mick Jagger. And now would you please give a big pants off, popped out, pumped up, Club Buggery welcome to those two vultures of variety, those killers of cabaret, the lads of Las Vegas, Rampaging Roy Slaven and H.G. Nelson!
Ian Turpie, Stones and Cedrics. Hello, Australasian buggers, and welcome to Club Buggery for another Friday night. And welcome to a night when too much variety will be barely enough. And when I say variety, I mean good old-fashioned, family values, Ludi-style Australian variety with a capital V. And, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Fowler Fowl House here at the ABC headquarters in Gore Hill, where Club Buggery appropriately comes to you this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce to you a man who, well, let's face it, the club doctor got him in to do a couple of knee reconstructions this week. The funny thing about these knee reconstructions were they were on his own knees. And so the man standing on my right is a testament to his own skill with a scalpel. It's an enormous welcome, an achievement to welcome you here tonight, Roy. What or who has been dancing on that tiny stage before the dimming footlights in your mind this week, Al?
Yes, thank you very much, H.G. Nelson. I've had a very buoyant week. It's been a tremendous week. Wednesday, I think it was, World Environment Day. I phoned the French ambassador to Australia.
Yes.
That is Mr. Jean-Michel Marcel. Yes. Tremendous bloke. Just to congratulate him on President Chirac, that is the new French President Chirac's decision to continue or recommence the nuclear testing on Murray Atoll. I was out of the moon. Bloody hell, that atoll, it's driving me crazy. It's still there, it's just junk. It does nothing, it just sits there. And I just hope one day they can build a bloody bomb big enough to get rid of the bloody thing. I mean, it does nothing. It adds nothing to no one, to the power of zilch. I said to him, what are we going to do for the day? He said, Roy, in his very Gallic way, little Roy, why don't we do something, bud? I said, sure. So we went to the Fish River. He had something like 450,000 gallons of dildren. And we just poured it into the Fish River there near Oberon. Just to see if it'd kill anything. It did. Yeah. Crikey, it was funny. And we're going to go back next week. Do it again. Just to see if it works again. So it was that sort of week, actually. A very, very positive, optimistic, up, Gallic, French, fruity, pardon me, weekend.
Aren't fish tremendous when they've tasted the dildren?
I like eating them.
Oh, well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Certain pickles.
Yeah.
And speaking of fish, I mean, aren't they funny, the ones around Murray at the moment?
Yes, yes.
Those ones with the heads where the dates should be.
Yes.
The date where the head should be.
I love an 8-dater, 9-header. Thanks, France.
Yes, and with that as a way of setting the scene here in the Fowl House tonight, it's an enormous pleasure to introduce to you the brains behind some of our recent America's Cup triumphs. And I do use that word advisedly. This bloke has made Johnny Bertrand look good for years. Of course, I'm talking about Ian Murray. Cedrics, can you hoist the mainsail on the Ian Murray story?
Oh, he loves a plank and a grind. He's the rare and nautical kind. He's at home in a suit with the downstairs on the droop. Oh yeah, he's got the below deck skier. He's got the full face leer. With just a stick and a sail, he weathers the hail and gale. He's got them in a flurry. He's a sailor, Ian Murray. Ian Murray leading curry, what a worry. Ian Murray, Ian Murray, Ian Murray.
Thanks for coming in, Captain Murray. Now, could we have beaten the Kiwis if our boat had stayed afloat in the stink off the drink near San Diego recently?
Well, I hope so. You know, certainly would have been a lot closer, and you know, it's one of those things we're not going to know, I guess, but it was definitely a better boat, and we only got beaten by a little bit in the end, and
yes. We have some footage of the boat going down, but one thing that always... and let's face it, one of the great sporting moments of Australian history, we'll all remember this one. Why weren't, say, simple blocks of polystyrene tacked on the inside, say with blue tack, to keep the thing up on the off chance that you cracked it in two over there?
Well, you can't think of everything, can you?
No.
Ian, Ian, it's a bit hard to know where to start when it comes to One Australia. But I remember reading, because I scoured the media after the boat had sunk to see what the real truth was in the matter. And I noticed a comment of yours saying it was human error. It wasn't the boat that was at fault in cracking and sinking, it was human error. Who was at fault here? Was it, as I've always thought, was it John Bertrand? Was he the problem? Was it Peter Gilmore? Who was at fault and why did it crack? Because I did hear a rumour that the boat had been lifted out of the water with all the ballast still in it and then hurriedly thought, oh, gee, bugger me, we better put it back in the water again because it'll crack. And it was put back in the water, nobody told anyone, and lo and behold, a few days later it cracked. Now, was that the problem, that the handlers buggered up when they lifted it out of the water when you were, you know, cleaning it and putting it on that stupid paint that doesn't work?
Sounds good to me.
Was that what happened?
Must have been. I'm not sure, but I think that could be one of the reasons.
Or did the boat hit something?
Well, we did hit something earlier in the week and bent one part of the keel, bent a wing right off the boat. So we're not sure whether that was a whale or a container or a spy or what it was, but we definitely
hit something. Well, that bloody marine life, it gets in the way, doesn't it?
Thank goodness the French are out there working even as we speak. Can I mention the name Alan Bond? And I do so because I believe that Alan provided a focus for our triumph in '83. It was sadly missing in 1995. It didn't have to be Alan Bond, but somebody who could, you know, kick butt, to use a bluntism, an Americanism, something that Diego Dennis Conner would understand, when it was necessary. I felt as though the challenge was a terrific challenge, but there wasn't a person there who was the figurehead, who could take all the responsibility, who could really point the boat forward and get it going. And I mean that in the metaphoric sense of the whole team involved, the on-land people, the people up the mast, the people mining the lead to go on the keel, the whole bloody lot, the whole lot going forward. We seem to be a bit rudderless in that direction. Is that fair comment, do you think?
Well, we had a lot of people at the top of this. I don't think that's fair comment.
Right. What about Alan himself? Did you know him before he had the trouble with the mine? Did you know him when he was a genius, and did you think, hello, he's a genius, and were you very sad when he wasn't a genius anymore? Well, I think that speaks volumes,
It's rubbed off.
It's rubbed off. Now, it's always been water with you, hasn't it? You were an idiot savant. when it comes to yachting. And I mean that. You're an absolute genius. At the age of 13, you were beating people who were adults. At the age of 15, you were beating people who probably should have given the game away. It was win, 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 win. Your 13 footies, your 14 footies, your 15 footies, your 16 footies, your 18 footies. Win, 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 win. Winning all the time. Winning. You get to the 12 metres and it all falls apart. What's the difference between the 12-metre and your 18-foot skiff?
About 45 feet. Well, the America's Cup is quite a different thing to 18-foot skiffs and everything else. It's a much bigger team. America's Cup's undoubtedly the hardest yachting event to win in the world because it involves lots and lots of things, not only getting out there in a sailing boat and starting a race at 2:30 and ripping around the harbour and getting back first. So it's a lot harder. It brings the best people to in sailing to the table. And you know, we've had our moments and we've gone close this time. We went close. We won in 1983 and 87. Well,
it fell apart.
95, we sank a boat. West. Roy's got some footage taken with his high 8 here of you actually at work.
Yes.
Roy, take us through it.
Yes, what are you thinking here, Ian? Here you are at the helm of Cooker 3, I think it was. What goes through your mind when you're out there? Are you looking for other winds? Are you looking for seagulls milling about? What signs are you looking for in order to enhance your progress or to pick up that extra boat speed?
I was just looking at the guy hanging over the side of the boat. It would have been good to get him back on board.
Yes, yes.
But that picture of standing there at the wheel, I can remember that moment vividly. You know, it was just after a chase boat had come up and we were about a minute behind Dennis Connor.
Yes. And
they'd come up and they'd said, I don't want you to panic, but we've had a bomb threat and the threat is that there's a bomb on board this boat.
Yes, yes, and I guess you were hoping there would have been one.
The comment from the boat was, well, what's the bad news?
Yes, no, I understand. But what are you looking for wind shifts and this sort of thing?
Well, in that particular situation there, we were really looking for miracles, but generally we're looking for wind shifts and looking at the sails and looking at the waves, how we're going to address the waves the best way we can, and how we're going to trim the sails to get the best performance out of the boat.
And you've got computers on board. What are the computers telling you?
Well, the computers really just do the work faster than someone's head normally
They can look quicker than we can.
Yeah, well, they can do everything quicker than we can, but they're only as good as what you tell them, and really they're an aid, and it really comes back to the people on board. They help you make the right decision, I guess.
Now, as far as film goes, I think we've saved the best till last. This is marvellous.
I knew you would.
This must bring back tremendous memories. If we could go to the rave up in the wave up here, people jumping off long before I thought was necessary. There's me.
Yes, there you go.
You got everything off. Now, take us through
all my clothes.
Got all your clothes. You were thinking you were there. Other people just panicked. I didn't think there was anything reason to panic even still here. And I was glad to see the bow people had the presence of mind to stay on until very, very late in the day. I thought it was gettable back there, but this bears my point out. A couple of blocks of polystyrene there would have held that up nicely. You would have lost the race, but you would have held the boat together and given the panel beaters something to work with. Now, what I like is the way the mast stays up as it just goes
down and down and down and down.
And away it goes.
$4 million bucks. There it goes.
Did you think if it cracked in two, it'd go that quick?
No.
I thought we'd see a bit of, you know, just flotsam and jetsam around the place for a while, but not a sign. Just, you know, boom, straight away.
No Titanic.
How did the insurers react? Were you able to explain to them, look, we've just put a boat on the bottom of the Pacific, can we have our money back? And I know most people in Club Buggery land would be amazed to realise the insurers paid out, I think, in the best part of 3 days. And I know most people who have a car accident have to wait months for their
well, I've got to take this opportunity to give MMI a plug. They paid out in 3 days, and we didn't have to ring them. They rang us.
Did they want to inspect? You know, did they say, well, what went wrong? Why did it sink? Did they ask any questions, Ian, or was it just, it's saying, oh yeah, no worries, yeah, 3 million, yeah, I'm on here.
We offered to let them inspect it.
Yeah.
They declined.
They declined. Yeah. Well, we've got a very interesting pair of plimsolls here, Ian. Do these bring back any memories to you?
Oh,
I don't know if we can see these shoes here. They're very attractive plimsolls. Do they bring back memories?
They've got the right smell to them.
Yes, these were the shoes you wore on Kookaburra 3 when it lost the series to Dennis Conner. Do these shoes bring back memories, Ian?
They're very close to my heart.
Now, do you want them back, or would you like us to retain them and maybe auction them off for charity sometime down the track a little, or in fact as a way of raising money for the next venture? We might get $500,000 for these, who knows?
What a good idea.
That's what we'll do.
I think they should go with the ham.
Yeah, all right. Well, we could throw those in. Yeah.
Ian, are you settling up for another go-round, or is it too early to tell?
Oh, a little early to tell.
Well,
the next time's 4 3/4 years away, and
well, I
it's a
hope
long
this
way away.
offering might persuade you. We had a bit of a whip round here at Club Buggery and came up with a $5 note that we'd like to pass on to you to pass on to the next challenge coordinators with our very best wishes. And finally, Ian, can we come to your nickname? I understand you're not in favour totally of the nickname Lard. We believe you should reconsider this. Glenn Lazarus, the Broncos powerhouse, has the nickname the Brick with Eyes, and he's turned this into an attractive dollar. I understand all over Brisbane there are nude posters of Glenn with a brick flute high adorning the streets, and I can see you in a nude campaign for lard or dripping. Now, dripping hasn't been a popular item on Australian tables, what with the heart problems and cholesterol and so on, but I think you could bring it back. And I think that if you're stuck for money for the next challenge, feel free to put the lard campaign with that $5, and who knows, you might get within a bull's roar of a sale.
Yep, and on that note...
Yes, indeed. I'd like to thank the Club Buggery audience, or urge the Club Buggery audience to thank Iain Lard Murray for stopping by.
He doesn't mind a fatty chop. He loves a bit of lively song. He likes his bit of gravy when the sea is rough and wavy. He's got them in a flurry. He's got them thinking, hurry. Iain Murray, oh Lordy, worry. Iain Murray, Lordy, Murray, Lordy, Murray.
Roy, do you think there are any ideas left up there, or are they all gone to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean with that boat?
He didn't take the $5.
No.
They can't be short of $1, can they, for the next campaign? Ideas? I thought he was brimming with ideas.
Yes.
I can see him back at the helm in, what'll it be, 1995?
Well,
I'd love to see him
I don't
there.
think it'll be this year, Roy, 1995. I think we might...
Oh, sorry.
I'd love to see it again.
Oh, year 2000.
This year.
Let's do it again this year.
Yes, America's Cup. It'll be on in October in Auckland.
In Auckland.
And
Ian will be there in an 18-foot skiff.
And with a lot of lead on the bottom to keep it, if it should sink, going straight down. And now from one Ian to another Ian, let's go over and look at some extraordinary boat builders doing ordinary things. Let's go over to where the carpet is always warm and the beer always cold. Let's go to Ian's.
This Sporting Life presents Ian, with Paul Surinam as Ian, Lisa Forrest as Susan, Cole Joy as Ian's dad, Greg Matthews as Ian's friend Cole, Annette Chanoir as Susan's friend Deirdre, Ted Mulry as Bob the neighbour, and introducing Warren Boland as Cole's mate Pete.
I've talked to him about a baby, but he just keeps insisting that it's not the right time yet.
Oh, well, Bob was right into the idea. I just said, how about the pitter-patter of little feet? And the next thing you know, we're below decks on the new boat going for it. And then, Bob's a pretty special person.
What do you make of Cole and Pete?
Well, at first I thought it was a bit unnatural, and Bob was worried too. But then the boat we bought from Pete is the boat in which little Bobby was conceived. So now Bob thinks the world of Pete. How's Pops?
Oh, he's getting worse. It's just dirty dribble that comes out of his mouth these days. It doesn't seem to worry Ian too much, but then he's not here getting it all the time. He's at Channel 9 every day now.
Hi, Dale. Hi, Deirdre. This little fella's for you, sweetie.
I don't want a cat.
But Ray said you'd love it.
I don't want it.
But it's from Ray.
I don't want it.
From Ray. Deirdre like a kitten?
No thanks, Ian. I hate cats, and so does Bob.
Hi, guys. It's going down.
Like a cat?
No, thanks.
Ray gave it to me for Susan.
Ray Martin?
Yeah.
Gee.
Captain's back door is open.
What do I want to do with the kid? They were certain to cure Sis of a depression.
You told Ray about us?
Sort of.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah? What did he tell Ray?
Nothing.
Ray, huh? You told Ray that Suze wants a kid?
Skull. I'll look after the bloody cat. Give it here.
What will you do with it, Dad?
Take it out the back and bugger it.
Better not tell Ray.
Club Buggery, make it a day to fiddle about and stay up late.
Roy, Club Buggery viewers, look, players with time on their hands has emerged as an issue this week. Recently, we had the problem with the Fitzroy Lions staying at the hotel in Coogee, obviously getting up to some harmless hijinks after the siren, and now, sadly, at a marvellous match of rugby league at the Wacker last Monday, where the North Sydney Bears took apart the Western Reds. Well, there was a bit of a to-do on the way home for the Bears. Look, I didn't think there was much in it, really. Obviously, the boys finished up about 4:30. I think the plane left at 12:30 from the Perth airport. There was a few hours to kill, about 8 hours. We're better to kill them than at the Burswood Casino. Then it was on to the airport for more of the bevy on the way home, and a lot of fellow travellers with the Bears were introduced to concepts like vomit for the first time. They were introduced to saliva flying around the cabin where it shouldn't be for the first time. But I think they emerged better for it, and I'm disappointed that the Ansett, and I don't name them not knowing what I'm doing, that the Ansett Flying Company have seen fit to pillory the Bears for, I think, introducing something that's been missing in air travel, especially across the Nullarbor. Well, ever since Ian Botham and Fat Cat Ritchie flew on that plane to play in a Shield final.
Eyes front of your next.
Yeah, eyes front of your next.
Yeah.
Well, Roy, what can we do about it? Do you think it was, you know, a bit beyond the pale last Monday on the way back when you came back with the Bears?
Yes.
And how did Grassy Granell handle players with time on their hands in your day?
Well, actually, I think the community has to be a little tolerant of players. They certainly were in my day. Players who were just letting off a little steam, as we used to call it. I remember after a match, say, if the Shamrocks were playing, say, Workman's Club or Orange Sims or Dubbo Sims or Portland or one of those teams in Group 10, the word had spread pretty quickly that everyone was going to the Bloodhouse Hotel.
Yes, as it would.
As it would spread, because you knew you were going to see a terrific night of a lot of fit young men getting up to hijinks. And you'd go to the pub and, you know, all the players would be there, Stomper Stones, etc. You know, he'd chew a beer glass and spit it out, and it was, what are you looking at? And that sort of stuff, and the fight would break out, and you'd have the trousers down and the newspaper in the date and setting fire to it, running around. It was simply harmless hijinks. And, you know, the club would chip in and fix the hotel up every Monday morning. And I think the hotelier at the Bloodhouse in Lithgow appreciated, because it brought a lot of business their way. I saw nothing wrong with it. Players have got to be able to let off steam. Yes. And I think the community has just got to be a little bit tolerant. And I think, by and large, the community is.
Oh, it's very tolerant.
Yes. Incidentally, I do have a letter that was written by Greg Florimo.
Yes.
That does relate to the incident here. This was intercepted and sent to us here at Club Buggery for everyone's edification. It's to Ray Beattie,
yes.
The North Sydney president, from Greg Florimo. It reads, "Dear Ray, we had a terrific trib." I guess he means trip. We had a terrific trip back from Perth, despite what the papers say. Remember, we had beaten the Reds 52-12 and had been frigging around at the Burswood Casino for 8 hours before the flight.
Oh, yes. Frigging.
Frigging.
Yeah, we should have talked to Ian Murray about frigging in the rigging.
Yes, we should have. It's a little bit foul house, isn't it?
Very foul.
Sort of cock talk.
Yes.
We love Perth and the Perth people, and they just love us Bears. Isn't that interesting? When we hit an air pocket near the South Australian border, Billy Moore was tucking into a piece of chicken, and it went all over Mark Soden. Mark tried to give it back to Billy, but he did not want it anymore.
No, I've had that happen to me
Oh,
above
it happens all the
South
time.
Australia.
Yeah. And that's when David Fairley spat on Mark. I don't quite get the connection. There he was with the chicken, hit the air pocket, goes into Mark's soda, he tries to give it back, no thanks, and then some other clown spits on him. Yes, there was nothing to it. Oh, that's a relief. Then Adrian Toole came down with gastric and vomiting, and the boys wouldn't let him out of his seat.
Oh, it can happen.
By gee, it was funny. Full stop. But harmless-like. Well, I guess it was. There were no real fights or nothing, just fit and funny bears letting off steam. Bears out what I was saying. The Ansett people were just terrific and laughed a lot at our harmless bear antics. I love being a bear. It is fun. Regards, Greg Florimo. Well, that about sums it up. Harmless hijinks.
Roy, I think there's two things I'd suggest. You know, obviously when trips go to Perth, I would suggest a walk back across the Nullarbor in playing formation is the way to get home, or simply wear the football gear at all times.
Yes.
You know, the shorts, the torpedoes, the obviously the footy jumpers up top, and then people would know to give this group of people wandering around causing
A very
a lot.
wide berth.
Indeed, a lot of mayhem. Just walk on the other side of the street when the bears come down.
Or on the other hand, get involved.
Indeed, well, there's nothing wrong
Get
with
in
getting
amongst
involved.
them. What are you looking at? Hey, bears!
Yeah, that's right. You shouldn't be hibernating, you know, all that sort of stuff. But, you know, it can happen.
Yeah, it does happen.
It's always wise to be sympathetic to footballers at this time of year, up until you see them going away for inter-season trips,
Yes.
and realise that they have a lot more on their mind than you and I do.
Yes.
They've got premierships and cars that break down and flights to wreck and things like that, and writing letters to their club presidents explaining why.
Yeah. Oh, well, it's a full life as a footballer.
Yes, indeed. And now let's go from the world of football to the world of song. Ladies and gentlemen, throw your caution to the wind and give the humongous poke-filled welcome to the Ford V8 dancers, the Stones.
Well, the Cedrics have boycotted this.
Ah, yes, the Cedrics have walked off and spat the dummy. Anyway, we get on with the Stones and Ms. Jane Scali and her Grammy Award-winning rendition of the Harry Connick Jr. medley.
It had to be you. It had to be you. I wandered around, finally found somebody who could make me be true, could make me be blue, or even be glad just to be safe, thinking of you. Some others I've seen might never be mean, might never be cross, or try to be boss. They wouldn't do, for nobody else gave me a thrill. All of your faults, I love you still. Had to be you, wonderful you. It had to be you. Make me feel so young. You make me feel like spring is sprung. And every time I see you grin, I'm just a happy individual. You and I, we are just like a couple of tots running around, picking up all those forget-me-nots. Feel that the songs to be sung, bells to be rung, and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I want to feel the way I do today. 'Cause you make me feel so young. Australia's Rolling Stones, ladies and gentlemen. what, do wow. Don't need a thing, all you gotta do is sing. Do what, do what, do what, do what, do what, do what, do wow. It doesn't matter if it's sweet or hot. Just give that rhythm everything you've got. Oh, don't need a thing if it ain't got that thing. Do what, do what, do what, do what. 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 Some others I've seen might never be free, might never be crossed, trying to be boss. They wouldn't do for nobody else. Keep me up thrill with all of your folks. I love you still. Had to be wonderful you. It had to be you.
That's the Raquel Welch All Men of Jelly Beans arrangement of the Harry Connick Jr. medley. Tremendous work there, Roy. Tremendous.
Oh, yes.
Brings back so many memories of flights from Perth.
Oh, it certainly does.
Look, we made up a fivesome once. You don't often make up a fivesome. I think there was Ian Smith,
Ian Murray.
Jackie Love,
Yes.
Jackie Collins, and you and me, and that might be
It's a
six.
six.
Yes,
Yes,
it's a six.
it's a sextet.
We were on our way back from Perth.
Oh, yeah.
There was so much to talk about. We've been over there playing football. We felt as though we had the run of the aeroplane.
Well, that's when we took over the aeroplane, didn't
That's
we?
right.
The fights broke out.
You started flying.
I started flying.
Yes, that was well, we hit more than an air pocket over the South Australian border that night. You put it down at Woomera, as I recall. Pretended you were French. Trying to let a bomb go. Well, it was very, very funny anyway. And when that medley came on, it settled things down
Brought it all
nicely.
back, didn't it?
It
It's
did.
a good fighting number.
It is. It makes you want to, well, wish you were Costa's you.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Or George Foreman.
Or Jimmy Thunder.
Or George Foreman.
All of the above.
Just big men, big pants, knockout drops in each hand. It's that sort of music.
Yeah, doing stupid things.
Indeed, indeed. And now, let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to welcome a very special guest from the area that is Summer Bay. She's a star of Home and Away. She's a Logie winner. She's Melissa George. Nissan Cedrics, now that you're back on the planks, can you complete the Melissa George picture?
Shoo up, Melissa George. She's our TV answer to Glaston Gorge. Shoo up, what class? Shoo up, she'll pass from feeding and turning to the barge. Shoo up, it's our Melissa. Listen real close, or you might miss her. Shoo up, a dream. Shoo up, so clean, exactly half the way of Jimmy Fisher. Melissa
Now, Melissa, before I let Roy off the leash for a bit of a chew of the bone, can I go back to Logie Night, 1995? Obviously you got one, but you're up for the big one, the gold.
Yeah.
The way I saw it, Ray pipped you by just a couple of votes. It was Ray first with the gold. You just bloused on the line.
Well, I hope so.
Then, Dags and Sweetie were miles behind. Now, do you feel as though if you filled in a couple more coupons, you would have got there?
Well, my grandma and my mum and dad, I'm sure they filled in many, but obviously not enough.
Not enough. And do you feel a pressure to come up with, especially after the triumph fashion-wise of last year, with a look for the Logies, a special look? Or does it just come naturally?
I was just testing the water last year.
Because we
just giving them a sense of something unusual. And
well, you did last year.
They freaked out.
Yes, they did freak out. That's the word.
And actually, thinking back now, I was very silly for wearing that. But
well, who designed it? It looks like an Ian Murray design. Let's have a look at it. There it is.
I think it's stunning. I love it.
Would you wear it again now, or do you think time and a place for everything?
I've got it tucked in a little box, and that's where it stays.
Yeah.
Right.
But it was at the moment, I thought it was very very Elizabethan, and
Yeah.
I wore it for me, no one else. And
Did you notice a lot of people subsequent to that say, well, yes, obviously, but subsequent to that,
thank you very much.
you know, say walking down Swanston Street in Melbourne or George Street in Sydney or Rundle Mall in Adelaide, you know, asking about the frock or wearing a similar one they'd made at home themselves?
I had a lot of laughs, a lot of comments, but I think since that day, people have been talking, which is great. Bad publicity, I think.
No, but it did cause talk, that's right. Melissa, how did you get the role in Home and Away? Did you audition for it, or did someone come along and say, listen, we've got the role just for you? How did that work out?
Yeah, in Perth, they went all over each state looking for Angel, and I rocked up.
Yes.
Did the audition, went shopping, as usual, afterwards, and then they 3 weeks later, they said I got it, and I moved to Sydney to do the second audition. Yes. And then about Christmas Eve, they rang and said I got it.
You got it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And when you met Dieter Brummer, how was that? Was there that chemistry there immediately, Melissa?
I think I was too frightened to worry about.
Yes. How is
Dieter
to work with? We hear he's a bit of a tearaway, a bit of a Jack the Lad.
Jack the Lad is quite correct.
Yes. Is he pleasant to work with?
Oh, he's fine. He's fine, you know. The kissing's nothing more than...
Kissing.
Kissing?
Yeah.
Nothing exciting, which is a shame.
No.
Because I have to kiss him, like, every single scene.
You do.
It's enjoyable.
Yes, it's kissing with
it's
Dieter,
like,
isn't
it's
it?
like, you know...
Yeah. Is it embarrassing?
boring,
Is it embarrassing the first time you've got to kiss an absolute stranger? And do tongues wander?
Like I'm saying, I wish it did, but no, it doesn't.
It doesn't?
I'm sorry to...
So do you consciously, you know, wedge the tongue in the back of the mouth, or is it closed-lip stage kiss style?
Oh, look. I wish, I don't know. I mean, if I had the hots for him, then I'd be desperately trying to do that.
No, I know, well, I know
but
you don't have the
because
hots
I don't, then I'm quite happy to keep it in my mouth.
Yeah, well, that's good.
It's quite cool for me.
And does Dieter ever let it...
No, he doesn't.
No.
No, he doesn't. I'm sure if he did, I'll go along with the flow. I'll go with the flow like you do.
Oh, yes.
Do you? Yes?
Yes, I think that's
well,
right.
we do.
You won't get any argument with us about that one. Now, on a more serious matter, there is talk that your time at Summer Bay is coming to an end.
Oh.
Look, are we allowed to know how the character is written out of the series? Because there is a fair bit of baggage there with the kiddie and the marriage and the tremendous wedding.
Fantastic stuff coming up.
And we were just wondering if, you know, the scriptwriters were stuck for an idea that Roy and I might be able to cook up a couple for
look, I've already asked them. I've already asked
to take back.
Yeah.
I can see python snakes and a lot of boiling hot fat. The knees. I mean, just off the top of your head.
Yeah, good.
I know Roy's got an idea that you eat yourself to death, which could be a terrific idea.
You eat yourself to death. It's an old-fashioned
I thought you
idea.
said wedge yourself to death.
Well, that's a better idea. It's a very unusual syndrome, wedding yourself to death, and it would make for very interesting filmic possibilities, Melissa, I must say.
Especially for Dieter.
Yes. Well, that might
have you thought about script writing yourself?
No.
No, well, you can start now. I think
Thank
you've got all the...
I will, as soon as I get home.
That's right, all the...
well, we do have a bit of an excerpt, a terrific scene, I think, from Home and Away here, of you in action. And if we can have a look at this now, we'll see you here getting out of bed. This is after the accident. And you look to be laughing at yourself here. Now,
Look, what happens, right, is sometimes the script is written, Angel is in tears, she's desperately breaking down, but I play it the opposite.
Yes.
And I was playing it like she's not smiling, she's in pain.
Yes.
For goodness sake.
Yes, no, that's fair
The
enough.
important thing about this scene is to take on the next sound effect, which is you hitting the floor. And I think if we can get this is well written. That is very realistic. I don't know how they got
I'm sorry,
that.
that doesn't look very real. We shot it in 3 parts.
Yeah.
So I'm doing all that smiling.
Then the foot acting.
And the feet acting.
And then
all of a sudden they said, fall. I'm like, bruises still.
Yes.
So I went for it, but it didn't quite.
No, I think it worked
like
marvellously. No, how many takes were there on the fall?
Actually, those scenes, they're the only scenes I could have because obviously she couldn't walk.
Yes.
So I didn't have to have the wheelchair on the beach or anything. So it was quite good. I didn't have to do location, but those scenes were all done 22 scenes in a row.
Right.
So therefore, that scene was before lunch, and we were all in a hurry.
Yeah.
So we did it in about half an hour.
Are there any scenes that you don't like? You think, oh, God, I've got to do a scene with Fisher. Or I've got to do a scene with Alf and Ailsa.
Oh, we love it.
Of course we do. We watch it religiously.
Every week. Yes, we do. Fish is our favourite.
Fish is our favourite.
Fish is your favourite.
We believe he could run the whole show by himself.
Fisher and kissing and all this.
Well, hey, that's Home and Away. It's a funny place, Summer Bay.
Wacky.
We don't know why it's there, but it's certainly there for you and Fisher.
Oh, look, he's a fantastic guy. We've done some great scenes, but the scenes I love, actually, are the ones when you walk into the diner and say, can I have a milkshake?
Oh, to Ailsa?
That's fantastic.
Yes,
you get to work, you get made up, and you just say, can I have a milkshake?
Yeah, cut. Thanks very much.
And I'm like, see you, I'm partying, I'm going.
Yeah. Well, listen, we are going to do a little bit of a scene now that we've cotted up. And let's just imagine this was you're auditioning for a role here. And now, the scene is a club. Do we have a lighter?
A club? Is it a club, is it?
Like
it's a club, and
yes.
if we can set
Yes,
the atmosphere here, and HG is going to play Uncle Reg.
Can I ask why there's an olive in my drink?
That's an olive, yes, you can eat it if you wish. Use it in the scene if you wish. That could be good. I'm going to play Uncle Tim, and we do have a bit of atmosphere now, and we can have a bit of mood music too.
Roy, before we go very much further, I don't think Melissa's got a script.
Melissa, have you got a script? No,
I don't
there you
think I
are.
do.
There's a script for you, and I have one here. Okay, let's. Okay, can we go to the head of the scene now? If we can set the atmosphere.
Here we go.
Our club.
Buggery club.
Buggery club. Yeah.
Do I have to sit?
Yeah.
Can I walk into the shop?
No. Just sit.
We've got the drinks.
Oh, do you want to walk into shot?
Yeah.
Oh, walk into shot
get
there.
excited
Can we go
about
back
this.
to our club? And then we'll go for it. Yes, okay, let's go for it.
We could have a bit of
crazy.
chat here,
It's
Roy,
crazy.
just to start off.
Yes, all right.
So who's Uncle Tim?
I'm Uncle Tim.
I'm Uncle Reg.
Okay, let's go.
What do you fancy in the Stratty tomorrow, Uncle Tim?
Not too sure, Uncle Reg. Let's go, Melissa.
Otherwise,
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Hello, Uncle Tim.
Hello, young Lisa.
Who's this then?
This is your Uncle Reg.
Hello, Uncle Reg.
Hello, young Lisa.
He's crazy. Listen, I'm very unhappy, Uncle Tim.
Well, that's no good, Lisa.
I don't know if I should marry Backdoor Benny or not.
Do you love him, Lisa?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I've never really thought about it, really.
Perhaps you should ask yourself that.
Do I love him or not?
Well?
No, I don't think so.
Well, maybe you shouldn't marry Backdoor Benny, Lisa.
You're right. No, I don't think I will. You are right, Uncle Reg and Uncle Tim. I won't marry Backdoor Benny at all.
Good. Well, that's settled then. Fantastic. Well, very well done.
It was, I thought, a beautiful performance.
I'm going to talk to the people at Channel 7 tomorrow.
It was a very measured performance.
Oh,
Marvellous.
Yes,
Uncle Reg and Uncle Tim.
And once we get the kissing in it, I think it'll be a winning
Three-way kiss. That is an idea.
something new. Hey, Club Buggery, though. Now, look, it's time to play. You must remember this. It's a simple game for simple people where we look at a bit of recently historical footage of a sporting or news sort, and once we freeze the frame, we ask you to tell us what happens next. But first, the prizes. We've got this magnificent fighting cassette, pound for pound, from Roy and HG. We've got the shirt that everybody wants, the Asian pig-shooting bush romp shirt. Both of those available at ABC shops right now. And they said it couldn't be done, but it has been done. The Ian plate. Now, no self-respecting admirer of the Ian series, which, let's face it, is Club Buggery's contribution, home and away style, to the culture of this country, would not want to have this plate. It's a fabulous plate. Remember, no food, no washing, and please, no sharp instruments anywhere near this plate. Otherwise, the beautiful Pro Heart rendition of the cars just flakes off. Now, who will Melissa be playing for this evening,
Yes, very
Roy?
good question, HG. It's Rhett is having his 25th birthday, I think, here with us this evening in Club Buggery. Rhett Newman, where are you, Rhett? Ah, Rhett,
There
good
he
on
is,
you, mate.
yes,
Thanks
yes.
for coming along. 25 today. Congratulations. Now, we'll go to the footage, and you're going to tell us, Bigersfield, what happens next, Melissa. Now, let's roll the tape. Let's have a look. We've got Campo coming on. Here comes Timmy Horan. Passes out to Campo. We'll see the goose step. Here's the goosey. Oh, I love it. What happens next, Melissa?
Actually, I saw that.
Yes, we all saw it, and we all thought, what a joke.
Do you really want this plate?
Yeah, Brett does.
It's, he does that funny...
The goosey, yeah.
The goosey.
Yeah,
and then he gets tackled.
Yes, let's have a look.
Have a look. There's the goosey.
Oh, yes. Marvellous. Gee, I love a goose step.
And they say he's the greatest fullback in the world. Well, Melissa, look, on your way out, could you deliver these to the birthday boy? And thanks very much for coming in this evening. I ask the whole Club Buggery crowd here in the Fowl House tonight to thank Melissa George.
Shoo up, aha. Shoo up, Timmy Fisher. Shoo up, aha. Shoo up, oh yeah. Dum-dee-dum-dum, Melissa. Melissa, shoo up. Melissa, shoo up. Melissa
Yes, I had to have a drink after all of that, and now regular viewers, Club Buggery viewers will know this is the spot where we pay homage to fallen comrades, no matter what their field of endeavour, and we do this simply by asking prominent Australians to perform a song made famous by Dean Martin. Tonight we stand in attention here in the Fowl House in the hope that Melbourne demon David Schwartz will be able to play football again before the turn of the century, and that the tiny little pillow with toes from the Carlton Blues side in Adrian Gleeson will be back on the paddock before we can say premiership flag, and that Mickey Mantle, that is baseball great Mickey Mantle, enjoys his new liver. How are we going to do this tonight? Well, we're going to do it simply by asking a prominent Australian to perform I'm going to paper my walls with your love letters, and that prominent Australian is the brick with eyes, Glenn Lazarus. Take it away, Brick!
I'm gonna paper all my walls with your love letters, then invite you over some night. I'm gonna read you every line where you promise to be mine, and show you all the vows you made in black and white. But if you think you're fooling me with your love letters, well, baby, now it's time you knew the score. I'm gonna find somebody new to write me love letters and paper them all over yours. I'm gonna paper all my walls with your love letters, and then invite you over some night. I'm gonna read you every line where you promised to be mine, and show you all the vows you made in black and white. But if you think you're fooling me with your love letters, well, baby, now it's time you knew the score. I'm gonna find somebody new to write me love letters and paper them all over yours.
You're on Club
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's the highlight of the evening. It's meat tray time. Lard Murray selected a couple of people who are going to be the recipient of this magnificent pack of pork. Yeah. Tonight it's pork, pork, pork and more pork. It's just oozing pork. And Roy and I were lucky enough this morning to be in the fabulous northern town in South Australia of Corn. Yeah. We shot this on the post office steps. I mozzed the pig by just going like that while Roy went and got the shotty and got up really close and was able to keep most of it intact, as you can see. What have we got in the pack, Roy?
Yes, it's all here, HG. Luckily, or fortunately, the pig seemed to be well and truly baited before I shot it. So it's a poisoner. It's been done. And I simply put the barrel straight up the date and blew it. But the snout, my favourite bit, I don't know if you can see the snout there. It's still there in very good working order. Wouldn't you love to blow that, eh?
When Roy shot it, the mouth was open, so we got a postie as well.
We did. And there's some Lowry prime lard in there as well to add to the fat. And it goes to this group over here who's gone to an enormous amount of trouble. Congratulations. Enjoy the fat. I don't think you'll find much meat in there, but it's fat, 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 fat.
And, of course, the reason why that particular group of people were the recipients is the fact they took a bit of effort in getting togged up for their appearance tonight at Club Buggery. Now, this week, I think it's fair to say we've expended a lot of energy and interest worrying about the state of racing, especially in New South Wales. Yes. Now, I believe that we're wasting a lot of time here. I believe that racing is honest. I believe it's demonstrably honest. I find it farcical to think that Hoops are grinning luridly in the mounting enclosure, trying to indicate that the horse that they're going to ride is going to win. I find it difficult to think that Hoops are letting a few go from the back door to indicate where their horse is going to finish in a race. I find it difficult to imagine that as they go out of the mounting enclosure onto the track that they tap the flute a few times with the whip to indicate where their horse might be placed as they rush past the post. I find all that absolutely ludicrous. Roy, I speak to you as a former jockey, as one of Australia's great trainers, as a horse owner over many years in a number of codes of racing. Do you think there is any truth to the rumours that racing in New South Wales in particular is fixed, that racing in Australia is crooked as a whole? And if so, what can be done about it?
Yes, I don't know what can be done with it, HG. I know in my day, when I was obviously a little bit lighter than I am today, I was always a big jockey. I can't deny that. I was always a big jockey. But I used, if I was on a surefire winner and I knew it had been organised that I was going to win, the word would go out, to indicate to a few close friends who I knew were in, say, the mounting enclosure as we came out that the win was on, I might sit on the horse back to front. Nude, and hold the tail up, like that. And just wiggle about. And, you can see people thinking, hello, Roy's up to something.
Well, they would.
And it was just simple little tricks. Athol Mully taught me that.
I'll never forget a day he leant over and just reach down and grab the cruets of a horse. That's a bit of an idea that it'd be on the winning side.
Pull them right up into the teeth.
That's right. To give it an idea that it'd be on the winning side if it played its cards right. But look, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's no point quizzing jockeys. There's no point quizzing, trainers' connections. We have to start quizzing horses. Because horses are the ones who have always got it in for jockeys. They never want to perform, never mind how often they're hit. And I want to name 3 horses tonight here in Club Buggery in the Fowl House that are running in the Stradbroke Handicap in the Straddy at Eagle Farm tomorrow. And they are Spanish Mix, an evil rat of a horse that deserves to be rubbed out now. Ruslan has done nothing but lie ever since it dropped out. And Christmas Magic, the name says it all. A conveyance with not a shred of anything but mendacity and venality throughout its whole length and breadth of the horse. You can sit on that and ride backwards and then reach over and put the cruets in the mouth and you'd never get a win out of the bugger. And it's until we get these horses in, stand them on the spot, put the headlight in their eyes and say, where were you in the Stradbroke Handicap of June the 11th of 1995 when they turned for home? And why weren't you winning when they went past the post that will get any satisfaction and any honesty in the game, Roy? It's the horses. Until we start talking to the horses, we are losing this battle.
I agree with you, mate. I've always hated bloody horses. I hated Tulloch. What a bloody stupid lying horse, bloody Tulloch. Big flu.
Yes. Think big.
Oh, don't get me started on Think Big.
Don't Safai.
Yeah, golden black, all duds, all hopeless, all jokes.
And now, unfortunately, we can't ruin the credibility of horses any longer because we have to go over to the world of cats. Yeah. And here's Anne Forward with the wonderful world of cats.
The wonderful world of cats. With Anne Forward.
Hello there, everyone. I'm Anne Forward, back again from Channel 10's Late Night News, and I'm here, of course, for the wonderful world of cats. And sadly, this is the last lesson in making an informed choice of specimen. So I'm going to conclude my cat series with walk. Now, even while the cat's asleep, you can tell how it will walk. And like my Uncle Don in Adelaide, when I look at a walk, I always start with the ears. Even when at rest, there should be no thonging in the ears. The cat thighs should be minced and nicely floated with no sign of underwiring or jamming. Now look at this one. Not only are the ears thonged, but the underwiring is smothering any hope of mince or float. And I think this cat should be tapped. However, this one here, I like. He has no thonging at all. The walk is sustained. It would never jam as it increased speed. So let's watch it in action. Here we go. And with that cat walking away, I'll see you another time. Bye for now.
It's Friday night. It's very late. You're in Club Buggery with a man.
And with some scores to round out a active and exciting Club Buggery for the evening, Roy, in the Rugby League, the game that people own.
Yes, in the Rugby League, the Bulldogs have defeated the Sydney City Roosters 22-14 despite all attempts by the referee to make the Roosters win.
In the AFL, St Kilda have managed to score 13-9-87, but it wasn't enough to down the Pies, who almost doubled their score with 25-11-161. In the women's basketball, winners, Perth just over Adelaide, and Canberra, 75 have broken through against the Brisbane side, 73, and in the NBL, Gold Coast 116-113 North Melbourne. Roy, obviously a hectic weekend coming up. Where are you directing your feet?
Well, I'm going to go to Dirty Dick's.
What's on at the Dick's?
Well, it's always dirty. Huge night of comedy and song, audience involved. I love audience involvement at Dirty Dick's, and I might go to Roman Scandals as well if I can get the chance. There's dancing and parking, and I love parking if they can organise it. So that's where I'll be, at Dick's Comedy, full stop, D for dirty.
Well, I'm going out to the Liverpool Theatre restaurant to see Carry On Cowboy.
Oh, I've been there.
I've wanted to see this for years. There's Dougie Scrupulous and Smart and Roxanne Paladin all making up a very fine cast. Yes. It's described as a farcical romp in the West, and farce and romp in West, I love it. And obviously, sadly, Roy, we come to the end of another show, and here at Club Buggery, I'd like to thank everybody who gathered in the Chucky Fowler Fowl House, including Ian Murray, Melissa George, Jane Scali, the V8 Dancers, the Stones and the Cedrics, and Glenn Lazarus, and you, the audience, whether at home, should I say under the doona or here in the Fowl House, thanks for taking an interest. And Roy, highlights-wise, you know, were there any
Well, the Cedric boycott.
Yes, you enjoyed that?
The Jane number, I don't know what, we'll have to get to the bottom of it, and we can get to the bottom of it during the next number.
Well, we close out our time at the Fowl House simply by saying he's here again, he's ready, he's lubricated the larynx at the Club Buggery canteen with an enormous length of lukewarm rowdy toot. So the toot was slightly on the turn, so be prepared for anything that may come your way vis-a-vis Perth Bears aeroplanes. So look out, ladies and gentlemen. He's here. Please make him welcome the giant of the G-Chord, Mr. Ian Turpie, and the Daddy Cool Classic, Eagle Rock. See you next week.
do the eagle rock. Hey, mama! Well, you rock and swell. You know you do it so well. Yeah, you do it so well when you do the eagle rock. Now, mama! Well, you rock and fine. Why don't you give me a sign? Come on, give me a sign and we'll do the eagle rock. Hey, 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 good old eagle rock is here to stay. I'm just crazy about the way we move, doing the eagle rock, yeah. Oh, 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 come on fast, you can come on slow. I'm just crazy about the way we move, doing